On the receipt of my mother's picture, also known as On the Receipt of My Mother's Picture Out of Norfolk, is a 1798 poem by the English poet William Cowper, written in memory of his mother. William Cowper occupies a distinctive place in English poetry and is the best representative of the transition from Augustan values to Romanticism. Cowper lost his mother when he was only 6. Later, in 1790, at the age of 58, he received a picture of his mother from his cousin Anne Botham, which inspired him to write this elegy. The poem reveals only too painfully the suppressed convulsions of grief and longing that were stirred within the poet by memories of the past. The poem honors the poet's mother lost 53 years ago. It is written in free-flowing, heroic couplets and is one of the tenderest poems Cowper ever wrote. The poet, when given a picture of his dead mother, is overtaken by nostalgia and a sense of personal loss. Beginning with the realization of his loss and the difficult period he has had since her death, he first dwells on the day of her death and then the period of grief which followed it. He then recollects the home of his childhood and proceeds to dwell on his childhood memories. Let us read the first 20 or so lines of the poem and then look into them a little deeply. Oh, that those lips had language! Life has passed with me but roughly since I heard thee last. Those lips are thine, thy own sweet smiles I see, the same that oft in childhood solaced me. Voice only fails, else how distinct they say, grieve not, my child, chase all thy fears away. The meek intelligence of those dear eyes here shines on me still the same. Blessed be the art that can immortalize, the art that baffles time's tyrannic claim to quench it. Faithful remembrance of one so dear, O welcome guest, though unexpected here, who biddest me honor with an artless song, affectionate mother lost so long. I will obey, not willingly alone, but gladly, as the precept were her own. And while that face renews my filial grief, fancy shall weave a charm for my relief, shall steep me in Elysian reverie, a momentary dream that thou art she. Let us first look at some of the words that the poet has used here. Oh, that those lips had language! What does this line mean? Lips had language means if the picture could speak, if those lips could uh, converse with him once again. Life has passed with me but roughly. Roughly? It has been difficult for him. It has been a harsh life for him. It has not been easy for him without his mother. The same that oft in childhood solaced me. Solaced? Comforted me in my distress. Grieve not. Grieve not. Don't be sad. Grieve is sad. And grieve not. Don't be sad, my child. Chase all thy fears away. Chase away, drive away. The meek intelligence, the humble, the gentle, the tender intelligence of those dear eyes. Blessed be the art that can immortalize. Immortalize? To live forever. The art that baffles time's tyrannic claim. Baffles, confuses. Tyrannic, cruel. To quench it, to extinguish it. Then precept, a few lines down, you get the word precept. Precept means order, rule. Then you have this word filial. Filial means to personal. Filial means personal. Fancy. Fancy is another word for imagination. Shall weave a charm. Charm is a magical spell. Then Elysian reverie. Elysian, heavenly. Reverie, dream. A momentary dream. Temporary dream. That thou art she, that you are she. Okay, so what is the poet doing in these lines? As we see, the poem opens with the speaker wishing that the picture of his mother was real and that she could communicate with him. He says, oh, that those lips had language, that is, could speak, converse. What is the poet doing here? He is talking about his misfortune. He's had to live a life without his mother, without the love, the affection, the care, the warmth the security of his mother. And in the next line, he says, life has passed with me but roughly since I heard thee last. He talks about the difficult life he's had since his childhood. The memory of the mother surfaces vividly on the receipt of her picture, and he finds comfort again in the meek intelligence of his mother's eyes. The sweet smiles that comforted and um, solaced him in his childhood. He remembers with warmth, with nostalgia, as well as sorrow, his mother, her love, her care, her warmth, her generosity. And the picture reiterates all the same, the same, uh, asking him not to grieve and to drive away all his fears. He experiences his mother's love shining on him still the same, defying time's tyrannic claim. Cowper refers to the impact of time. He personifies time, calling it a cruel tyrant, a cruel ruler, which tries to extinguish, quench life, which takes a toll on everybody, on everything. But he finds solace in the fact that art has baffled, it has perplexed, it has puzzled time's tyrannic claim, and has bestowed a permanence, has bestowed immortality to his dear mother. And the meek, the humble, the tender, the gentle intelligence of those dear eyes, he says, shines on me still the same. So even though it has been a long time since his mother passed away, the poet is able to derive solace in his hours of distress from the picture of the mother. In the next few lines, Cowper welcomes his mother's memories stirred up by the unexpected gift, the picture of his mother, and he gladly undertakes to go down memory lane, relive the happy moments spent with his mother, and honor her with an artless song, taking it as a precept, a rule, an order from her. And even though the face in the picture renews his personal sorrow, his filial grief, he believes that fancy, the power of imagination, will weave, create a charm, a magical spell, a heavenly dream, an Elysian reverie, and will allow him to believe that the picture is actually his mother. Although he calls it a momentary dream, he knows that it will only be a temporary dream, but he wants to relive it.